serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCF podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z. Yeah. Episode 49 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago. Use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go get your official TCSF shirts now.
Go and get your shirts right now, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. As always, I am Big-Z, and I'm here with my boy, the man, the myth, the legend, my boy, E-Roc. What up, E?
What's up, Z? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in. If you're a first-timer or a long-timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us those 5 stars on your listening app of choice. And don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sportsfans/support. Z, let me tell you a little bit about our friends over at ACSI. With over 50 expert technicians in the Chicagoland area, ACSI offers a one-stop shop for telecom wiring. Whether residential cable installation, fiber to the home, or commercial structured cable wiring. Z, let me tell you the most impressive thing about ACSI. During these hard times, the ACSI crew did their thing during the COVID-19 pandemic, and ACSI was awarded HACIA's 2020 Contractor of the Year award. The best part is that ACSI is growing bigger and better than ever. ACSI is now hiring for field sales, technicians, and project managers. Check out acsi.tech, that's acsi.tech, and click on careers to apply today.
Go get you a job.
Go get it. Z.
Yes, sir.
You got to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
How was your week, brother?
The week was phenomenal, man. We got to go and enjoy ourselves with our fans, our family, and everybody who came out to support us. I mean, huge thanks to everybody who just came out to District 1540 North Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Came out and we rocked that basement. We rocked it.
So we are recording today on Monday instead of Sunday, our normal day, because we spent Sunday hanging out at District with our friends, our family, our fans, some of our favorite DJs in the city, great bartenders. We had a blast. We gave away some items with our raffles. First and foremost, let me give a huge thanks to all of our sponsors, Mikey O, of course, 606 Media, the Chicago Knights, ACSI, Alejandra's Snap-on Tools, Grit Clothing Company, Pinches Miches, Stern Pinball, Mo Fit Training, Sicilian Bakery, Estrella Negra, Joey G's Mac and Cheese, Output Lounge, District Shy Native, North Caesar, Beer Punk, Chicago, AllNet, Blaze Football, and Anchor. Thank you all so much for being a part of our show.
No, it was awesome to have all these businesses reach out and say, hey, we like to sponsor your event. What can we do to help you guys out? Even the guys at Grit Clothing showing up.
Yeah,
that was also huge.
Amazing.
Yes.
Congrats to Mike on his new addition to the family.
Exactly.
Amazing to see him come out. He won some raffles because he
bought a bunch of raffle tickets. Of course,
that was dope. But yeah, I mean, look, we had a blast. We thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out and being a part of our night. We grew up in Wicker Park, so this joint in Wicker Park, quite literally walking out of the back door of that joint, and like 2 doors over is the crib that I grew up in. So I walked the neighborhood. I got to just be a part of it. So I would say from a kid who literally from Wicker Park Avenue to be able to have a party right there in Wicker Park for our show was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, this was awesome. So something stirring. It's actually is it ready to come out of the oven now?
Yeah, it's ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
So we did have a big announcement last night. For those of you who are familiar with the show and familiar with 606 and Shy Native, you are well versed with our friend Mike Logic.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about him on the show all the time. He's been a guest a couple times. Well, we announced last night that Mike Logic and myself, E-Roc, we are going to be debuting our brand new podcast by the end of the summer. It's called the 606 Podcast. And basically the idea behind the show is to reach out to all Chicago creatives throughout the city, whether you're a singer, you're an artist, any type of musicians, DJs, chefs, artists, authors, MCs, DJ, all over the place. We want to have you on. We want to talk to you, and we want to tell Chicago about your story, what makes you so Chicago, and just get people hyped up about all the creatives that are in Chicago and about Chicago.
It's going to be a great podcast, brother.
We're super excited, man. I'm so hyped for this project. We got so many people already lined up to interview. I mean, this is going to be raw. It's going to be fresh. Literally the whole show is just going to be one long interview where we just talk to our friends and talk to the people that inspire us throughout Chicago. And we're both very excited about it. So I can't wait to start working with Mike Logic for the show.
That's going to be awesome, brother.
All right, Z, this week on the show, we are going to talk a lot about Chicago baseball.
That's right. It's baseball season.
It's baseball season. We are no Bulls.
Nope.
No Bears.
Nope.
No Blackhawks.
Nope. No Fire.
No,
well, they start next week after that. We can talk about them next week.
Oh, goody. Anyway, this is literally like jam-packed full of Chicago sports. We're going to talk about the Cubs City Connect jerseys. We're going to talk about their sweep over the Cardinals
that was awesome.
Weekend, and a lot of White Sox news.
Lots of White Sox news. Again, we are in first place, and looks like we are not going to let that go, brother.
Guess who else is in first place? Go Cubs. Yeah.
You're tied. You're tied for first. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see after tonight.
Oh, calm down. First place is first place, my friend. But first, before we get to all that, it's time for veteran TCSF reporter Big-Z and the Big Three with Big-Z.
Thanks, E-Roc. I am Big-Z, and you're not.
I love every time.
Now, for today's stories. The Phoenix Suns are on fire. Yeah. Literally.
Quite literally.
It's like 125 degrees out there, and the garbage cans are melting. And when I mean garbage cans, I mean the Lakers. Oh! After defeating the world champion Los Angeles Lakers in the first round, the Suns take out the broom again and sweep the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
They I'm pretty sure the other Denver Nuggets were doing something else. Mile High City.
All right. Now, listen, to be fair, the Suns have benefited from the Lakers being without Anthony Davis in the first round.
Mr. Glass.
He was, hey, look, without Davis, they wouldn't have won the championship last year. And so, I mean, I got to give him something for that. But the Nuggets were also without Jamal Murray, who was injured now for the season.
Right.
So now they won the first two rounds in the NBA playoffs this year by beating teams who are missing a big key part.
Hey, you can only play the teams that are in front of you, whether they got a full staff or not, man.
And I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I mean, you got to play who's in front of you. But what I'm saying is that they have definitely benefited from the fact that they are playing teams that are missing huge superstars.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the thing is that we're going to play against whoever is in front of you, right. And if your players are there and they suck, that's not my fault.
No.
And again, it takes winning a championship takes a lot of luck. The ball has to bounce in your favor.
They beat the Nuggets with Joker, who was the MVP of the league this year. So, I mean, like, that's nothing to sneeze at. Like I said, you got Devin Booker, you got Chris Paul, and you got Ayton. So they don't have – it's not like they don't have a good team. And they got a very familiar face to Bulls fans, and they got Cam Payne, who somehow turned into a legitimate NBA player.
Oh, look at that.
Where did that come from? I don't know. Was it the tutelage of Chris Paul that brought him there or what?
It's got to be.
But, I mean, like, I argued hard with Mike about this, and I'm like, he was hot garbage on the Bulls. And he's like, well, he's an NBA player. That's fine. When he was on the Chicago Bulls, he was hot garbage in a dumpster on the side of New York City in the summer when it's 102 degrees and humid. He was garbage. I don't know if it was all that hair dragging his little tiny dinosaur head down or what, but he was hot garbage on the Bulls.
He wasn't good on the Bulls at all. No, he wasn't. And again, we had coaches that didn't know how to produce players or develop them. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, that's the issue.
It's the front office at the time.
Right.
It's the coaching staff at the time.
Right.
Which has greatly grown since they changed over to what they're doing now. So I mean, I think right now we're definitely looking up, but the big question is that are the Bulls going to be able to grab one of these big free agents? Because I want to say Chris Paul is going to be a free agent, so they do have a potential ability.
He's not going anywhere.
Hey, you said that. We could have said that when he was with the Clippers or New Orleans.
Do you know what his opt-in is? He's going to get $40 million for one season if he opts in.
So it looks like Chris Paul is going to be playing for the Phoenix Suns next season.
Why would you leave $40 million for one season?
No, I mean,
and it's a good team.
And I get that. I mean, I feel like Chris Paul right now. When I think about like current NBA players, he probably has the best chance to become a really, really good coach in this league.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's being a head coach or an assistant coach, you know what I mean? Like he's the type of dude that I feel like because of his longevity in the league and the position that he plays, he could probably step in right. Like
as soon as he retires.
Right. Or take a year or two off like Steve Nash did, you know what I mean? And be, hey, Jason Kidd was a coach like the year after he retired. So, I mean, it's not unheard of.
No, not
at all. It's weird, but it's not unheard of.
I mean, another guy like that would be Rondo. Rondo's one of those, he knows basketball inside and out. Now, can he relate to, because he has an attitude problem. I mean, maybe, like you said, step away from the game a couple years or maybe even be on someone's staff at the far end of the bench. And work your way up, because he needs to work on his people skills.
The funny thing is that now that I'm thinking about Jason Kidd, so Dame came out and said that he wanted Jason Kidd to be the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. I think it was Terry Stotts. It was there for like 9 seasons or whatever it was. They let go of him because they really weren't going anywhere in the playoffs. So he came out and says, "I want Jason Kidd to be our coach." And you know what Kidd said? Pass. Pass.
Good.
I'm good. Because he didn't want there to be some type of weird thing where like, oh, this guy said he wants me to be the coach. Now all the players think I'm just going to listen to what he wants.
Right. So that'll set the precedent, a bad precedent, saying,
absolutely.
The player's running the organization.
Absolutely.
No, we're not doing that. All right. So the Suns will be appearing for the first time since 2010. The Suns appearing in the playoffs for the first time since 2010 will face either the number 1 seed, the Utah Jazz, and defensive player Rudy Gobert, Mr. Touchy. Mr. Touchy.
So Gobert, everyone knows Gobert because he was the first player in the NBA to get COVID, and he was out there touching all the mics. But Rudy Gobert won his third
Defensive Player of the Year.
Third Defensive Player of the Year award. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you can think whatever you want about him touching the mics. That was silly.
It was.
But my man is a gangster.
That's right. All right, so so we playing. So they might play the Clippers as well with Kawhi. I mean, big time Kawhi. I don't think so.
And playoff P,
bro. Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't even want to talk about that dude, Paul George. I mean, like, I'm gonna leave that up to my boy Mike Logic for him to break down whatever's going on with that dude because I don't understand it. The Clippers are LA's last hope at this point, I guess. But I mean, like the way that the Suns are playing right now, and the fact that right now I want to say the Jazz. Now again, we're recording on Monday. I want to say they're getting ready to play tonight on the West Coast, but the Jazz are up 2-1 on the Clips, and this is not a team. Like I said, it's not a team to take lightly.
No, not at all.
And the Jazz are a team that was built up organically.
Yeah.
Versus the Clippers who were put together in free agency.
Yeah, it looked like a Lego set of all different color Legos. You made a wall or something. Hey, I got a plane.
So now, let me ask you a question real quick because this is a question that Mike Logic was talking about. You look at that Sun series against the Nuggets, or not the Nuggets, but you saw what Booker did.
Yeah.
And you also have Donovan Mitchell of the Jazz. Which one of those players would you take on your team right now?
That's tough. That's really tough because I like both of those players.
Yeah.
Last year I would have said Mitchell. This year I'm taking Booker.
Yeah, I'm with you in Book because I just feel like what I think, like I said, having a guy like Chris Paul on your team has really boosted up his confidence. It's not like he was like not a confident player before.
No, but he's learning from osmosis.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
He's literally like, I'm just breathing the air around Chris Paul and I'm learning basketball. That's what's happening.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Which is the way that your veteran players should be boosting up your young guys.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Story number 2. Mr. Flat Earth believer, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden are both injured for the Brooklyn Nets.
They are.
Yeah. So do we give Durant a pass if they don't make it to the NBA Finals as they were proclaimed to do?
Well,
2 out of 3 superstars, it's hard to get past in a playoff series.
So the thing is that I think a lot of people are giving LeBron a hard time because they didn't go and repeat as champs when he had his, you know what I mean? He had his other great player.
Well,
out.
LeBron overturned that whole roster.
Yes.
And then 5 of those guys are playing on other teams, and then they were in the playoffs. So,
I mean, that's true, but they still have those kind of fringe superstars around them. The guys that are like second and third tier guys. So like they had a roster, but I mean, without Anthony Davis, and you're not wrong, a lot of the players they had last year that helped them win that title are no longer with the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're spread out. I think Danny Green and all these other players, you got a lot of those players up on Philly right now.
Yeah.
They went to the
Philly,
Clips. They're all
New
over
York.
the place. Right.
Dwight Howard, you had Rondo.
Right.
You had the kid from New York, Randall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a bunch of kids that, they all got spread out over the years, and it's like, dude, you had superstars with you.
So, look, am I going to give Durant a pass? I don't.
No.
I don't know why.
Oh, why should I give him a pass?
Here's the thing to me, like Durant is cool. Like I like him as a player, but like I don't put. He's not in my top 10 all time, and people want to put him there.
I would equate him. His skill set is to Pippen.
Okay.
He can play one through 5. He can. Durant can play 1 through 5 because he's just taller than Pippen. But I'm saying that versatile player comes from Scottie Pippen. And if you want to look at the comparisons, the point forward, he invented it.
Yeah. Well, because he was a guard in high school,
right?
And all of a sudden he just got super tall.
Exactly. So you keep your skills, and Durant can do the same thing. He can run the point. He doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But he's still a better shooter.
Well, I mean, because you got to think about then when you talk about a guy like Scottie Pippen, when he played in the league, the main thing that he was trying to do is defense and inside scoring.
Yep.
So these guys were not nearly shooting. Like you look at John Paxson and Steve Kerr, like amazing shooters at the time. Well, now you look at the current crop of shooters, and even like a third like. Vucci Man's probably got a better shot than some of these guys in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's such a big focus on not only the 3-point shot, but big men
to shoot,
hitting the 3-point shot.
Yeah, they're not playing low post game anymore.
No,
that's gone.
Well, because you look at someone the wrong way and you get a foul. So that's the difference there. I mean,
that is true. So yeah, 2 out of 3 are out for the big 3 in Brooklyn. And Harden with a hamstring injury, he's been, they thought they could hold him out for the series and get by, and then you lose Kyrie Irving. I mean, he's just gone for 1 game.
We talk a lot about hamstring injuries and how difficult they are and how hard it is to really shake that off. So that's one thing that even if Harden was to come back and play in this series,
you can re-injure it in 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you don't want him out there hobbling around. And then Kyrie, he went out with an ankle sprain in Game 4.
Right.
So I don't know, man. They do. Don't forget, you still got a lot of other players on this team, so it'll be interesting. I feel like if they can get by and make it to the next round and get their guys healthy, I think with their big 3 healthy, no one's beating them.
No.
They don't have the camaraderie or
they don't have that cohesionness. They don't have the chemistry because they haven't played.
That's what I'm.
I think they play like 8 or 10 games together, all 3 of them. So they don't have that. So I mean, it'll be dangerous if they have what's his name, Blake as well.
They got Blake.
And Blake didn't play most of the year, so he's healthy.
They got
rested.
Jeff Green on that team.
Yeah.
I saw a stat the other day. Jeff Green has made the playoffs with 7 different teams, which is like tied for one of the highest ever. And I wouldn't say he was on a league. He's been all over the place. So good for him. I mean, it reminds me of Big Shot Bob.
I was thinking of Shaq too.
Well, yeah. But Shaq played for other teams when he wasn't dominant anymore.
Right.
Jeff Green was never dominant.
No.
Jeff Green was a good NBA player who found his way onto playoff teams.
Yeah. Story number 3, and I think you're gonna love this one, man. A dominant American middle distance runner has been banned for 4 years after testing positive for anabolic steroids.
I think he's on steroids.
That she believes they came from a burrito.
They have one that's called the Meat Tornado. Literally killed a guy last year.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
Okay, so first of all, let me break this down real quick. You're a dominant middle distance runner.
Yeah.
What the hell is middle distance?
Middle distance is about 1,500 to 5,000 meters.
Stop. Like, you're really good at being mediocre. You're not fast. No, hold on. You're not quick because you're not like the 100-yard dash, 40, whatever. That's the real fast guys,
Yes,
right?
those are the fastest people.
And then you got the
about.
distance runners who just sit there, and they're usually like some rail thin guy from Ethiopia who's been running his entire career because there's zebras behind him and lions.
Yeah, do me a favor. From now on, please, it's not zebra, okay? It's zebra.
Zebras.
Zebra. Middle distance, what is that? Like, what kind of mediocre?
It's like a middle reliever.
Shut up. Shut up. You know why? I'm going to tell you how you become a middle distance runner. You put steroids in your burrito.
Chipotle?
Even if you want to run fast, you kind of got to hold your butt so you can't run that fast. And that's how you become a middle distance runner.
Oh, boy. Shelby Houlihan. The reigning national champion and American record holder at both 1,500 and 5,000 meters, wrote on her social media Monday that she was provisionally banned by the Athletics Integrity Unit after testing positive for a nanodrone. What? Oh, no. I got that right.
Nandrolone.
Sorry, the mic's in the way. Yeah. Which has been found in pork. She says
Yummy.
Exactly. She was appalled by the ruling, and that
no, she said she appealed the ruling.
Oh, appealed sorry. Again, the mic's in the way today. She appealed the ruling to the Court of Arbitration in Sports and was informed Friday that she can they didn't accept. I can't read today. She wrote, "I feel completely devastated, lost, broken, angry, confused, and betrayed."
Apparently hungry.
By the very sport I loved and poured myself into. Yeah.
So
how many burritos you got to eat?
None, because I don't do steroids. So, I just finally figured out how they make those burritos the size of your head. They put steroids in it. That's what Barry Bonds did.
Oh, boy.
It should say burritos the size of Barry Bonds' head. Look, we got a joint over here. It's called David's Mexican Restaurant. Of course, not very creative. Great burritos.
Yeah.
I ordered. I was like, let me try this thing. I got it, and it was literally went from like my elbow to my hand, and I'm not a small guy.
That's what she said.
So this is a gigantic. I kid you not.
So many jokes.
I kid you not. It took me 3 days to eat this burrito. Yeah.
I thought you had a talented mouth. We discussed this last week.
That's what she said.
Oh, Kim can't wait to hear that.
Hey, so many sound effects are going into this week's stuff.
No, but I mean, first, what kind of burrito was this? I mean, because it said it was in pork. So what does she have, carnitas, or what's going on?
I guess she's having pork.
Was she gnawing on like some? What is happening? Where did you find this story? This is probably the best thing I've ever read.
USA Today, man.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check out USA tomorrow too to see what's up. So she finally says, "I want to be very clear. I have never taken any performance enhancing substances. But I did sleep with that pig that one time, so I think that
You had sex with her every time you met, didn't you? Didn't you, liar?
I don't know, man. Look, I'm so glad you brought this to the table.
This is kind of story. This is kind of your story.
This is great. I love it, man. Hey,
You slammed her, you dumped her donut, you gave her dog a sausage, you stuffed her like a Thanksgiving turkey.
all right, y'all. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you'll be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers. Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z. It's time to touch bases with our baseball teams. This is 3 Up and 3 Down.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yo, E, what's going on with these first place Cubbies?
Go, Cubs, go! Go, Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win.
Yo, the Cubs opened up Wrigley to 100% capacity because, ladies and gentlemen, Chicago is open for business. And they opened up and they swept them dirty-ass Cardinals all the way back to St. Louis. The Cubs are currently tied for first and hold a very stellar 24-10 home record, which is the best in all of baseball. All of them. I checked. I looked. I checked. Yes, it's correct. Thank you. Finally, a White Sox fan recognized the greatness of the Chicago Cubs. That's not funny. So yeah, look, man. Wrigley opened up. Hey, I didn't get to watch the Friday game.
Or the Sunday game.
Well, the Sunday game we're at the event, but
Yeah.
the Friday game, I'm so upset that I didn't get to see it because I was at work and I was on the way home when everything was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing comeback win. The Cubs were down like 5-1. They came back to beat up on the Cardinals. Rizzo had like a 15 pitch at bat where he fouled him off.
Yeah,
and fouled him off.
I was listening to it on the radio.
And he came back and he hit the game tying home run. And I want to say the final of that game was 8-3 to start off the first game of that series. The first game back at Wrigley, reopening Chicago. It couldn't have happened to a better team in the stupid Cardinals. Get the hell out of here. No one likes you. Go home.
Nobody likes you.
No one likes
the
you.
White Sox don't like you. The Cubs don't like you. No one likes you.
No.
Redhead stepchild.
Quite literally. So this weekend, the Cubs debuted their City Connect Series uniforms last weekend.
I wanted to push it so bad.
No.
Those uniforms are not cool at all, man.
Let me explain something to you. I didn't make fun of your Mega Mall uniforms, okay?
Hey.
I did not. Hey,
Yours look like FUBU.
No, I didn't make fun of your Mega Mall Easy ass uniforms that y'all pull out, okay?
Hey, 1990 called FUBU wants the uniforms back.
First of all, what are you talking about?
They look like football. The FUBU. Yes, they do.
FUBU never had the Wrigley Field marquee on their uniform.
I'm going to send it to you.
FUBU never had the FUBU had the FUBU.
Yes.
But they never had the curve like the Wrigley marquee.
It's the same color scheme.
Colors are the color scheme of the Chicago colors, blue and red. Yeah, okay.
You're just mad because our other uniforms are better than yours.
Your uniforms are just as plain as any other uniform.
They're not plain.
How are they not plain? Black and white. Y'all are so boring.
So?
Right.
Black and white's fine.
Y'all found, let me tell
But
you something.
it says Southside.
This is what I believe happened. They were getting ready to tear down the Mega Mall, and they found them in a basement, and they're like, hey, let's hold on to these here a couple of years. You want to talk about FUBU? You want to talk about FUBU? Get the hell. What was this? 555? Where did y'all get these uniforms from? Can I talk about my team now?
All right,
Are we good?
go back to talking about.
I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
Like we said, a lot of people were not big fans.
No.
But I'll tell you a lot of reasons why I like them. You got the Chicago Star in the middle of the C on the cap. You got the CTA token design on the sleeve, also on the socks, and all of the Northside neighborhoods printed on the cleats. Okay, and I think one of the big things that people took issue with was the fact that the front of the jersey said Wrigleyville.
Yeah.
Now I saw things where like Wrigleyville is not a neighborhood; it's Lakeview, and I'm like, who gets to name neighborhoods? Like
the neighbors do.
You know what I mean? Like
it's Wrigleyville. Come
anyone
on.
that's lived near Wrigley calls it Wrigleyville.
Yes.
Now, the ballpark is getting mushed in with all the drunks that hang out, which is I get that. That's part of the atmosphere. It's just a club scene. It's basically Bourbon Street plus a baseball. But I mean, there is no other aside from Fenway that has that type of atmosphere, and I don't even think Fenway has it. The way that the Cubs do it?
Not to that extent. It's different. It's more family friendly, I would say. Whereas Wrigleyville, there's like legit like bars and clubs.
But here's what I'll say about that. At least in Wrigleyville, Wrigleyville,
it's Wrigleyville.
That's
it
the
is.
neighborhood that is it. I don't care what you want to say. Wicker Park is Wicker Park. Wrigleyville, Logan Square, whatever. It's still Wrigleyville, even if it's just a couple blocks around Wrigleyville.
It is.
Wrigleyville is in the Lakewood neighborhood, but it's still Wrigleyville.
Yes.
That's where you're at. So
It's a 2-block radius around the building. That's Wrigleyville. Yes.
This is basically like me arguing Bucktown versus Wicker Park. Wicker Park is technically a smaller part of Bucktown. Really, if you kind of break it down, Ukrainian Village is right up against. Look,
Yes.
So let's stop that nonsense, okay? I like them. I'm also not the person that's going to sit there and hate on something unless someone else comes at me, and then we'll go back and forth
Like me?
about that. Exactly. And that's what makes it fun to do a podcast about Chicago sports with a White Sox fan, with being a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
It doesn't matter. Even if you were a Cubs fan, would you have found positive things in this if you were a Cubs fan?
I'm not a Cubs fan, but if it was a nice jersey, I would have been like, cool, that's a cool jersey for you guys. I would have been happy. Just like you didn't like the Boston one, the yellow one.
I don't even remember the Boston one.
So it was like in the first week of April they wore it because they wore it for the Boston Marathon. Right.
Yeah.
So they had
like the Maryland colors. And I remember.
So,
I mean, but I'm also not paying attention to that team. You know what I mean? Like, I think also who's going to sit there and be like, well, Yankees are going to complain about the Red Sox, even if they had the best jersey of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you got the Cubs Sox rivalry, you had the Sox come out first, then you got the Cubs. I mean, like,
I just thought you could have done more with that jersey.
Like what? Like putting every single North Side neighborhood in part of your jersey?
No.
Give
the
Wrigleyville
thing.
To put what? What are you going to put there? Tell me what else you're going to put there.
I don't know. It could have been anything else.
You have no ideas.
I don't. I'm not a marketing guy.
Here's the problem. If you do not have a solution, don't create the problem. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
It's not my taste. And excluding it being a cup thing, it's not my taste.
I think a dark blue with the light blue is just fine. It's fine. And on that jersey, on the sleeve, you have the patch.
The patch is pretty cool.
Token, and that's dope.
Because we grew up with that.
But what it is you're giving a shout out to Chicago. That your guy said Shy and Southside. Okay, it's a city connect. That's your part of that's your part of town. It's a Southside. Like we said last show, are they going to move to Arlington Heights? Hell no, because the whole identity of the team is the Southside.
Right.
The identity of the Cubs is Wrigleyville. What else are you going to put on that jersey? That's what I don't understand. There's no alternative there. So what
I don't know.
No one's giving a better solution.
Maybe some ivy. I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not that big of a jersey guy. Like, I'm literally wearing an old school, like the oldest jersey ever, a Cubs jersey, where like
90s.
the stuffs are falling off. But I mean, like, I'm not a huge jersey guy anyway. But I think they're fine. Like, I think they're cool. You know what I mean? Like, I like I said, there's cool elements in there. But I think a part of the problem is that they leaked out like a week or two before, and people are like, "No, why is it got to be that way?"
Yeah, I posted it. Yeah, I posted like 2 weeks prior to it coming out, and people were like, "Oh, that's not the real one." I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
What this is like the most annoying thing, because instead of talking about a first place team,
yes,
we're talking about these stupid jerseys
that they're only going to wear once, and that's it.
Well, I think they wore it over the weekend, but
right,
you know what I mean, but like, come on, man. And the I want to say, like, the pullover it was actually pretty dope. Like, they had the pullover that they had was, I wonder if they could do like a custom jersey with just that CTA logo on the shirt with the patch. That would be pretty cool too. You know what I mean?
Oh, look at that! The marketing guy, designer guy, designing the jersey for the Cubs. Look at that.
So, fan favorite and Chicago Cubs legend Jake Arrieta is pretty good at home, but he is definitely struggling on the road. And these stupid fans that I just talked about on social media are calling for Jake to be DFA'd.
Are you crazy?
He is currently 5-6 with a 4.97 ERA. The Cubs rotation currently consists of Kyle Hendricks, Arrieta, Zach Davies, Trevor Williams, and Adbert Azalea. Now, I love the professor and the kid Azalea, but this is not a rotation that can win a championship.
No, it's not.
And this, for the Chicago Cubs, is going to be one of the trickiest trade deadlines of all time, because you have Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras, and Craig Kimbrell, the biggest names, all due to be free agents. Now, they're currently in first, but are they going to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline?
So I'm going to put myself as your GM.
Okay.
All right.
And what do
Starting now, not starting at the beginning of the season, starting last season.
All right.
Go ahead.
I want to put this in here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The moves that you're going to make
Are to benefit the Cubs.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to make sure you're doing that.
No, I'm putting myself as the GM. So if I'm on the Cubs payroll and I'm the GM.
But if you're a White Sox fan and you get that job, you're going to sabotage my team. So don't do that to me.
Maybe.
Don't even look at. Don't
like-
do that to me.
I'm like, I'm going to stack the White Sox
Don't do
team
that
with
to-
great players.
Hey, I've been fair with the White Sox.
That's fine.
I've been fair with
Yeah.
them, so be fair with us.
I am going to be fair. All right. So being GM. All right. So you can't lose Javi.
No.
All right. So
No.
let's start there.
They literally had a parade in Humboldt Park for Javi. There's a street over there. You cannot. He's Chicago all the way through.
Right. He's going to finish his career here. That's what I would do. So you offer the man very close to Arenado money.
For Javi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're going to have to trade Chris Bryant because you have to get something back for him. I'm not saying he's going to be gone next year. I'm saying you trade him if, now this is a month away, if you're not in first place. If you're 5 to 6 games out of first place, that's when you would trade him. If you're in the hunt like you are right now, you ride it. You ride the wave with what you got, especially a MVP caliber player. You ride that wave.
So you're telling me a team that would be maybe 5 or 6 games out of first that has been flirting with either first or second place the entire season, you trade your MVP caliber former MVP winner.
Yeah, because I am looking at not only this year as a GM, I'm looking at the next couple years.
Let me explain something to you.
Oh,
and
boy.
this is the thing that drives me nuts right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking towards next year. I'm looking towards buying a pair of shoes next year.
No, I'm the GM.
No,
I'm the GM. I'm not a fan. I'm the GM.
And I understand that. But this is what I'm saying to you. Your goal every single year is to win a championship that year. Hoping that you can trade this guy this year and then maybe get him back next year, like your scenario said a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do for you? If I already have the player right now and my goal is to win a championship, why wouldn't I add to the team that I have and do whatever I can to make this team a little bit better to get over the hump? Because right now, really the only thing that this team needs is maybe 1 or 2 starters. A decent starter and maybe a mid-level starter, and you're good to go. They have the closer. They have a great bullpen.
And Chris Bryant will get that for you. Chris Bryant will get that for you.
And then what? And then you got a hole. You got a guy who's literally playing MVP caliber baseball.
Again,
all of a sudden,
that's it. I'm saying if you're out of the race, you got to trade the kid. If you're in the race,
how is 5 or 6 games out of first out of the race? How? At the trade deadline.
It's not. But you have to do something as a GM. I'm not looking at just this year. I'm looking for the next 5-6 years. So if I can flip a commodity and get a bunch back, which he hasn't been shown to do. Your GM has not shown that he can do that.
My GM's only been a GM this year.
He's a GM over there in San Diego.
Okay, so you got a different GM this year because you got everyone moved up the ladder. Yeah. Your job is to win championships.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. It's just hard for me to sit there and be like, "Yep, here's a great player. Yep, he's potentially a MVP candidate. Yep, let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of the best player on our team right now.
If you're out of it.
5 or 6 games isn't out of it. If you're in 4th place, yeah. If you're the Pirates, yeah.
Well, the Pirates are hot garbage.
That's my
every
point.
Year in and year out.
That's my point. They were a good team a couple of years ago. They went to the playoffs and the Cubs beat them in the 1-game playoff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they went like 3 years in a row to that wild card and never made it. But it's just hard for me to wrap my head around trading your best player. And here's the thing. I get it because you got to sit there and you got to try to figure out how I'm going to sign all the other guys.
Right.
But that being said, if this is your last chance at romance with these 4 core players, why wouldn't you try to find a way to whatever you got to do to try to get at least maybe even if you can't get a quote unquote elite starter, try to build on what you got. And try to see if you can make a run this year. Because realistically, do you see a scenario where the Cubs can keep all 4 of those players right now?
Nope.
So this is your last chance to have all 4
Bryant's
of those players.
going to walk, and I think Contreras will be priced out.
So you're telling me that this is the last year of these four together?
Yes, sir.
So what? You know what I mean? Like,
I get your perspective.
This is the team that won the World Series a couple years ago. So why
stop with the World Series? Because
because I'm telling you, that doesn't make any sense. 2016,
it's done.
What did the Yankees do? The Yankees built up a core and kept that team together for 20 years.
The Yankees are the last team to repeat.
But the point is that you have the players. Your job is to win a championship right now, every single year. If your goal is not to win the championship every single year, you're failing.
You're the Pirates, right? So, we disagree. I still think you flipped Bryant if you're out of it.
So here's my what is out of it? Explain what out of it is, because like I said just a couple minutes ago, you told me five or six games out of first is not out of it at the trade deadline in July.
Your pitching will not hold up the rest of the year.
That's why you trade for pitching.
And what do I have to trade?
Whatever.
Chris Bryant. You have nothing in the minors.
So then you can trade anyone outside of those four. Anyone outside of those four you trade.
No one's taking Hayward.
I'm just saying
he's not worth anything.
You got Hayward, you got Happ, you got Bodie, you got a bunch of players.
Those are Chicago players that have equity in Chicago, nowhere else.
Okay, Matt Duffy had equity in San Francisco, and he came here and was a good player. So that doesn't make any sense. If you're a good player, if you're a good, solid, above average Major League Baseball player, you can fit in any team. Look at what Zobrist did for his whole career.
He just slapped the ball in Tampa Bay, and he slapped the ball here.
Was he ever a great player?
No.
Right. But he was a player that was above average MLB player, and he managed to make it to the World Series a few times on a couple of different teams.
Right.
And he won the MVP in Kansas City for that World Series, and he did the same in Chicago. So you can take these guys that only belong to one team and put them on any team. If you are an above average player in the Major League Baseball and you're versatile, which Bodie is, which Happ is, you can trade those players and get something back for them, especially when you're talking about younger guys.
But you're not going to get what you're asking for. You're asking for an elite pitcher, right?
Look.
You did.
No, I will ask for an elite pitcher every day of the week. I'm saying you get some guys that can start and push you, make your rotation even a little bit better. Even if you have a team full of 2s and 3s, you have
that's fine.
Right, but you don't have that right now. So you're going to tell me that you're going to tell me that Bodie or Happ couldn't flip for like a mid-level starter?
You would have to trade both of them.
You're not together?
Yeah.
For a mid-level starter on a garbage team, because the garbage teams are who's giving away players right now?
Who's going to give away pitching? Who's going to give away pitching right now?
Whoever's got. You got all these teams. You got like we were talking about the Pirates. Any of these teams, the Baltimore, it's been done.
No, I know it's been done. Your GM has not proven to do it though.
The GM's been a GM for 1 year.
Wasn't he a GM in San Diego?
I don't even know where the GM is in the Cubs right now. But what I'm saying is that with the Cubs, he's been here 1 year and you're also looking at the direction of Jed Hoyer. And Jed Hoyer says that they're worried about money right now too, and it's whatever. I take that with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
We went through this whole thing last year. I'm just saying that you have your core 4 plus Kimbrel is going to walk here. This is your last chance at romance for this team.
Right. It's a tricky situation. Yes. I agree.
So you do whatever you can to try to make one last run with this team. And if it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. It's whatever. And then you deal with it. You deal with whatever happens in the offseason. But if you and it's the last year of high school. You and your boys know this is the last time you're going on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go on that trip or save money for college? Go on that damn trip. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is your last chance. You make that run and you see if you can catch lightning in a bottle, it'll be the most incredible thing. Or you'll be like, well, we were in first place, but we decided, let's slip out the back door. Let's let like a big core of our players that helped us win a championship. Yeah, you just go and we're gonna get rid of you. And no, considering the fact that Bryant is an MVP candidate right now.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any shot in hell that you trade him and he's going to want to come back here? He's like, I was literally doing exactly what you've been wanting for me to do since I've been injured, since that 2016 season when I won a MVP. I'm doing it all over again. I'm finally healthy. And you're like, nah.
You can't take it personally. It's a business transaction. Again, if they're out.
But I'm saying if your goal as a GM is to trade him and then bring him back.
It's been done.
Not if I'm a MVP caliber. Not if I am an MVP caliber player. Chapman is not an MVP. He's a pitcher he is not an MVP.
He got you your World Series.
He actually didn't.
Did he not? Look at his saves.
Who closed out that game? He choked in that last game.
He did.
And who closed out that game? Montgomery. And they traded his ass, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's dropped off.
Mid-level pitcher.
He dropped off the face of the earth already.
I don't even know where because he went to Kansas City, and then no one ever heard from him ever again. So again, so this is my whole thing. It says right now you got all these players that are due to be free agents. They're currently in first. Mm-hmm. There's a possibility now that people are talking about Max Scherzer being out there. But here's the problem with Scherzer. He's 36 years old.
Okay.
You still got another year because he's going to be a free agent after 2022. And he signed a 7-year, $210 million contract with the Nats.
Ouch.
It gives him a $30 million average. But again, it would be the end of this year and then next year. So now.
That's $45 million.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Oh, but the Cubs are crying poor.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't do both.
I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is that if you can somehow, because again, you're not talking about like a 27-year-old pitcher.
No.
You're talking about a 36-year-old guy who's on the very end of his he won them a World Series.
Yes.
So they got what they needed out of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, is this someone's going to trade for him? He's probably going to end up on the Yankees or something like that. But
yeah, it's going to be one of those contenders that needs another arm if someone gets hurt.
Right. So I mean, that's the biggest question. What are you going to do? Honestly, I have no idea what they're going to do, but you can tell.
I know
by the passion that I have for this.
I get the passion.
You have all the pieces here. You might as well go for one more run. See if you can pull it off. At least show the fans that you're trying. These are your guys. These are the guys that brought you your title. And you can say whatever you want about it was 2016. It was the first championship for the Chicago Cubs in 108 years. You're damn right that Cubs fans are going to try to hold on to the guys that brought us there. Every time.
You're the Chicago Bears.
No.
Yeah. A team with
the Chicago Bears did not
just win one.
The Chicago Bears won a bunch of championships in the 60s.
No, we're talking about that one championship run in the 80s, right? You got a great team. You got a Hall of Fame team with all the most Hall of Famers.
But there was
by anybody.
But what I'm saying is that at least with the Bears in the time in modern era or whatever, they made playoff runs. They had these great you
guys went to the playoffs in '84 and was it when or whatever it was. You guys went to the playoffs,
right? But you never had
sustained success. No,
they get knocked out early. They get knocked out early. When you never saw the Cubs, when was the last time the Cubs went to the playoffs in consecutive years, like 5, 6, 7 years in a row? It never happened.
No, it hasn't happened in Chicago.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying is that, like, as Cubs fans, we're going to fight tooth and nail to try to keep that team together. And if this is your very last chance, because a lot of your guys are already gone. I mean, like, you got Schwarber's gone. They got rid of Lester. You know what I mean? So these are the guys. Javi, Chris, Wilson. Those are Chicago Cubs. Point blank. Rizzo was in San Diego and he was in Boston. But the other guys, these are Chicago Cubs all the way. And they brought home that title. So I'm going to try to do whatever I can to at least do whatever I can to move forward in these playoffs. And I'm not giving up my MVP to do it.
I don't think you have enough to trade for a good, like a great caliber pitcher.
Great.
You had one.
Scherzer, who?
You had one in you.
You're paying him. You're paying him too.
I know that.
You know what I mean? So like, I think this is what happened. The Cubs are ending up to be a lot better than they were expected to be because I think a lot of people were expecting more out of not only the Brewers but the Cardinals, because the Cardinals were in first for a good chunk of the first part of the season, and then they kind of fell off. You guys beat up on them. We beat up on them. But who expected the Cubs to sweep the Padres?
Nobody. And the Dodgers.
And
you didn't sweep them, but you had 2 out of 3 on that, right?
Yeah. So we beat up on the Padres. We beat up on the Dodgers. Beat up on the Padres again. They played San Francisco. I think they won 1 out of 3.
1 out of 4.
Yeah. But, I mean, these are very good teams.
Yes.
These are teams that are put together.
Those are the elite teams, right?
The Cubs beat Darvish and the Padres. And they beat up on Tatis. And they did a good job. And I just don't think, hindsight being 2020, it's whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like, and that will be forever a frustrating thing. But again, you is not a Chicago Cub. You know what I mean? Like, he was here, but he was also on the Rangers and the Dodgers and this. He's like a Brandon Marshall. You're gonna go somewhere for about 3 years and then you're out. You know what I mean?
Overstay your welcome.
Right. So and he's getting older, and they got Jake on the cheap, and we know that Jake was a fan favorite move, so you can get fans back in the stands and all that stuff. So I don't know, man. Like, my heart tells me that I just want to see. I just don't want them to give up that easily. I feel like if you're in first place at this point in the season, trading Chris Bryant is giving up on the season. That's how I feel.
No, I see that perspective. What I'm saying is if they're out. And then, like, I know you're saying, well, 5 games isn't even out.
Not even close.
No, and it may not be.
14 games is out.
Then you're Minnesota and the Pirates. So
10 games with 10 games, 10 games out with 10 games left. That you're out, bro.
Yeah.
Right now, in first place, tied for first.
Yeah.
Go all in. All right, bro. Now you're exhausted. Now we'll worry out, right?
No. I got some more.
So let me. What does that jersey say? Oh, south side. All
Yeah,
right, let's
south
go.
side.
What's going on the south side?
White Sox, White Sox, go, go, White Sox. Let's go, go, White Sox. We're with you all.
The White Sox, the other first place team in Chicago. Yeah, ESPN still not giving us love. F them.
They're not.
Oh, they were talking crap about the Liam Hendricks during that rain delay. It was raining really super hard, and Liam Hendricks, they got a ball from the umpire. He put it in his glove, and he looked at it and he was like, "Dude, this is soaked in wet. I can't throw this." So he just threw the ball to the third towards the third baseman and said, "Rain delay." He told the rain delay.
Yeah.
And walked out. So ESPN said that he threw a tantrum.
I mean, yeah, you threw off the ball. I mean, here's the thing. If it was any other team, if you would have seen someone on the Yankees do it,
It's funny.
You would sit there and be like, "You go play ball." Like, it's your team, so you're like, "Oh, that yeah." Just like I'm sitting here defending my team.
It's a safety issue, dude.
No, and I get that.
Yeah.
But guess what? You're a player, not the ump. The ump is the one that decides when there is a rain delay.
They dragged it out, and the MLB said that they dragged it on. They should have called it a little earlier, but whatever.
MLB officiating has been
horrible,
hot ass garbage. We're talking about New York garbage in the sidewalk in the summer. That's it right there. If you've been to New York in the summer, you know exactly that funk that I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
It's not. It's not. It's terrible.
All right, the White Sox are finding some positive injury news to share. Monday afternoon, the team announced that slugger Eloy Jimenez, Mr. Spider-Man, has been cleared to resume baseball activities. Jimenez has not played this season after suffering a ruptured pectoral tendon attempting to rob a home run during spring training. Dumbass.
Okay.
I said it for you. He's a dumbass for doing that, and he's cost himself half the season. So he's gonna start, baseball activities,
Right.
and then he still got to do rehab, a rehab stint, in AAA. So you're looking about 6 weeks at the earliest, which brings us to the trade deadline.
Yep. Well, hey, I will toe the company line and say that what I've been saying the entire time.
Yep.
It's like adding a free agent.
It is.
It's like adding a free agent.
Yeah.
And now they got to figure out what they're going to do with the rest of these guys.
Yeah, because we've been having guys step up. Literally, we have a replacement players outfield. Yes.
Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah, so again, we got the replacement players out in the outfield. We just got this kid that we just called up Bryant Goodwin, which is like another Pirate cast off.
Yeah, he was a guy. He's been in the league for a few years, and it's funny because
he's 30.
Yeah. So I mean, again, we talked about if you have a good team, you can take flyers on guys, and it's not going to hurt you.
And it elevates their play because they're
Right.
like, oh, this is a great team. I got to step up or I can't play.
And guess what? These are the exact type of players that you use for trade bait.
Flip them. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly how the Cubs ended up getting Arrieta and Strop in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this has been a good thing. I think he made a diving catch today or almost a diving catch right now, but he is hitting .333 with 3 runs, 5 RBI, slugging over 1,000, and an OPS of 1,500. I mean, this is a bench player.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Sox and both sides of town, to be honest.
Yeah, you guys
have absolutely benefited from
all these injuries, and these guys have just been stepping up.
I wouldn't say you benefited from injury.
No, you don't benefit from injury. I'm saying these injuries have caused players to step up.
If you want to look for a silver lining, the fact that these guys that
and we're in first place,
nobody thought about.
No,
I mean, we would talk about Yermin all day, and I would look at who I have never heard of this person.
I had heard of him, but I know the stories about.
Sox fan.
Yeah, of course. If you're not a Sox fan, you don't know what the
and that's
the stuff. Also, you got Billy Hamilton, another cast off.
Well, yeah, but he's been in the league. Like I'm a fantasy player, so I know exactly who he is.
Right, Jake Lamb, another
guy,
flyer.
right.
Right. So the White Sox have been Danny Mendick's something that came up to the system. But you've, like you said, taking out flyers on some guys, and they've actually been producing. So it's been great to be in first place with a kid who came up through our system, Vaughn, Ricky Vaughn. He should do it. He should definitely do it.
I know.
The glasses and the haircut.
I'm with it.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, he's going to replace Jose Abreu, and this is Sinet, and he's going to play first base. And Jose Abreu's like, he's like, over my dead body.
Stop.
Yeah. So they're like,
I
kid.
think Abreu's going to cut off that beard before he gets up first.
Exactly. That Lou Albano bill. Yeah. So they said, kid, can you play left field? He's like, well, I got no choice.
Right.
So the kid's been doing actually pretty good in left field. In center, you got the new guy, Brian Goodwin, right now. He's taking over center. Adam Engel just came back.
Right.
And then you have Adam Eaton, who's also still dealing with that hamstring injury. So he's in and out of the lineup.
Well, you know what makes up for that hamstring is that stash. That sweet
porn stash.
Sweet stash. My man looks like Mark Maron out there right now. That's exactly what he looks like.
Oh, Mark Maron. we'll talk about that later.
But look, hey, I love Mark Maron. I absolutely love Mark Maron.
He was awesome in Glow.
I've been listening to his podcast for like 10 years. And that was one of those things where you're like, okay, you can have a second career. And he's the godfather of podcasting, however you want to look at it. I mean, so I look, I appreciate what he's done. I don't appreciate the Cubs just lost, but I appreciate Mark Maron.
Oh man, sorry.
And I appreciate even I appreciate Eaton even more for looking like that dude right now.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Madrigal was also diagnosed last week with a complete tear.
Hamstring.
Tear. Yeah. So it's a tear of the tendon, hamstring tendon. So yeah, 60 games, he's gone, and a lot of Sox fans are, with their pitchforks and torches, go trade for somebody. Like, dude, have you seen what we've been doing? We've been calling up these guys. We've been signing these nobodies, and they've been filling in and doing great. Danny Mendick is not chopped liver. The kid can hit. He's a great defensive second baseman, and he also can play the outfield. So again, if you have the more of these players that you have that are multi-tool, which the Cubs have like eight or nine of them, the better you are. So if you get hurt, someone gets hurt, guess what? You can plug and play however you want. So Sox fans, relax. Danny Mendick is going to take care of that second base for you.
Please don't come up in here with these Aaron Rodgers lines. How about relax?
Oh,
get out of here. How about, hey, Southsiders, maybe calm down.
Take a chill pill.
Maybe put down your Miller Lite and your pocket knife and your mullet and stop trying to fist fight your children.
Wow.
Hey,
shots fired.
Right, and also stop doing that, please, Chicago.
Oh yes, please stop shooting. Stop shooting. Please stop shooting. The White Sox have scored have the second best record at MLB right now. We're playing the Rays for the next 3 games. I'm checking the score right now because we were coming back. Still 4-2. All right, we're losing. That's okay. We haven't lost in a while. We just beat up on Detroit. What can I say? So 2 pitchers. We have the 2 best pitchers in MLB right now, or AL. I'm sorry, with Lynn and Rodon with 1 and 2 in ERA. Lynn has been such a surprise. Like you said, he's a South Side looking dude.
I mean, I'm not really surprised by him just because, like, I feel like he was a guy that's been good in the majors for his career.
Yeah.
Bring him to the South Side, get a fresh start. Back with LaRussa, who he played for in St. Louis,
right? Because he was a reliever at that point.
So I mean, it's just a guy getting a shot. You know what I mean? Getting a true shot. Like, hey, I'm not.
He was with the Rangers. It's just the Rangers always. I mean, they've sucked for the past 5 years.
Right.
So like he's just floating there, like I'm just going through the motions, and we wanted him before.
But who we really need to talk about is Rodon, because what the hell?
Yeah.
What the what?
Yeah, this kid coming from Oblivion, not being being released at the end of the season after the fiasco in the playoffs, and his wife just blowing up, the White Sox and the coaching. And then he takes some time off. He goes hunting. He does his thing. And then, he's like, I think I can win with the White Sox. Signs on. They make him compete for a 5th spot. I was like, that's a slap in the face.
First of all, shout out to his wife. Shout out to his wife. You stand by your man.
There you go.
Know what I mean? Shout out to that. Look, he has been a White Sox. You know what I mean? Like he's been here, so it's nothing new. You know exactly what
He reminds me of the Chris Bryant. When he's hurt,
yes.
when he's hurt, he's not good. And when he's healthy, holy Jesus, is he good?
And that's the caveat always. I mean, that's always the trickiest thing because I'm gonna bring. You want to talk about going in the Wayback Machine?
Oh boy.
What about Mark Pryor? Mark Pryor was phenomenal, and for whatever reason, he just kept getting these weird calf. He had like calf injuries. He had arm injuries. He had a lot of like leg stuff. And I want to say he's the isn't he the pitching coach
for the Dodgers?
And he got his ring last year, so good for him. But I mean, it's one of these. Kerry Wood. Kerry Wood is
love Kerry Wood.
Absolutely perfect example for this because you look at a guy who is just amazing and just the injuries could not keep him at that level. And that's the sad thing is that when you see great like a guy whose career path is just going straight up and they get injured and you're like,
it's like
can you ever recapture that?
He shot up so quick.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
And you just spent your entire career chasing the dragon at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing that I did see was an image yesterday from the Cubs game.
I feel like I'm not gonna like this.
No, you're not gonna like this. I'm just saying you kind of stole something that we do at the Sox game in the bleachers.
You're not talking about the
Cubs, the Snake Cup.
First of all, don't act like you alcoholics invented this, okay? This is some old stuff. And you know why it popped up again is because there's fans in the stands.
Yes.
You go to watch the game
yeah.
and drink a lot of beer.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I thought it was cool.
I thought it was funny.
I think so. Someone looked at the film and kind of counted the cups, and it was about
$42,000. Yes.
$1,000 worth of beer.
Yep.
So that was like 4 beers.
At Wrigley Field. Yep.
Wrigley,
yes.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we didn't steal nothing.
I'm just saying you copied us for this year.
You know how
it's
I know
not the first time we didn't. You guys did it.
You know how I know we didn't steal it?
Oh boy.
Because it cost $42,000. And guess what? Now they can go sign Chris Bryant.
I mean, all these beer sales. Yeah, you can sign somebody. All right, let's take a pause for the cause and hear a word from our sponsors.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Welcome back to True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z. Yeah. It's that time again, brother.
Uh-oh.
You know what time it is.
Oh, boy.
It's time for Stirring the Pot. All right, brother. It is still grilling season for us.
It is.
All right, man. So let's talk about sausage.
Sausage?
In particular,
Abe
brats.
Froman. Hey, it's me. I'm the Sausage King of Chicago. Please let me in.
So, cooking brats, do you batter them not batter them, but soak them in beer before you grill them, or you just throw them straight on, man?
So if I have the time,
yes,
I will definitely put them in some beer.
How long do you soak them in the beer?
I'll cook them. I'll simmer them in the beer.
Yeah.
One thing that I'll do a lot is I'll throw a couple of cans of beer in there and then like a whole onion and let it sit in there and it cook down, and then I'll pull them out, put them on the grill to finish them off.
Right.
And then all that like beer and onion sludge right on top of that brat with a little bit of mustard. There you go. And you can't argue with that because I am obviously the best chef in Chicago because I know how to put beer in.
You know how to add beer to your food?
I figured out how to open a beer and not drink it. Talk about a challenge.
You know what? I can't argue this because you know what? You've got to put beer on your brats, man. That's the only way to cook them.
So what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying we are right.
What you're saying?
No, and I'm out of beer. I'm saying we are right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am once again the winner because you stole my idea. Just like we borrowed the Snake Cup thing.
That's right.
Borrowed.
You
stole my idea because I said that this is the best. So next time you come over to my house and we grill, you can bring your own brats because I drink the beer already. I'm sorry.
That's just true.
Actually, I'm not sorry. The beer was good.
Yeah. All right, before we get out of here, man, what are you looking at?
What am I looking at?
Yes, sir.
Not a damn thing. I have not had time all week to watch any TV. I think I watched reruns of New Girl because I love that show. But yeah, I mean, literally this entire week I've been consumed with Vipers softball, 12U softball. Shout out This is I literally just said we should go out there and be like the Vipers. No, but shout out to the 12U girls for winning their last game of the season. We're going on to the playoffs, and then we got a bunch of tournaments in the summer. So I hope we can kind of keep up. It's been incredible to watch these girls progress. Some of these girls I've been coaching for like 3 years now, so just to kind of see their development. But that and then working on our show, our event.
The event,
that was so big for us. Again, I want to give them proper thanks one more time. Mikey O, the CPD Knights, ACSI, Alejandra, Snap-On, Pinches Miches, Stern Pinball, Grit Clothing Company, MoFit Training, Sicilian Bakery, Estrella Negra, Output Lounge, Joey G's Mac and Cheese, District, Shy Native, North Caesar, old school sponsors, North Caesar, B-Pong Chicago, All Net Podcast, Blaze Football, and Anchor. Thank you guys so much. That's what I've absolutely been consumed with for the past month. Yeah. So there's a reason why I don't finish these TV shows.
You fall asleep it
is because I fall asleep.
It is
absolutely true. So, bro, what you looking at? What you been watching?
I literally just watched the first episode of Loki.
Okay.
I effing loved it. It is so sarcastic and funny. It corrects a lot of the plot holes that were in the movies. So it's literally gonna do that for you because it's gonna be based on like the time continuum.
So you love it because it's sarcastic and funny, and that's why
we get along.
That's why you're my brother. Because how can you not love someone like me who's so sarcastic and funny? I mean, don't forget Loki was Thor's brother, so you take that compliment and be like, yeah, I'm Thor, yeah, but I'm the funny, sarcastic one.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Yeah, otherwise than that, I have. Oh, that's what I was talking about. You talked about Mark Merrill.
Mark Maron.
Sorry. Mark Merrill was the wrestler. Mark Maron, because on Showtime there is a documentary that's I think it's 4 or 5 episodes. It's called The Comedy Store.
Oh yeah.
And I just recently watched it, and I was just like, holy crap! That is like the holy grail of comedy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, the thing is that for those of you who don't know, I am a gigantic comedy nerd. I mean, I'm a vinyl guy. We talked about that before. But I mean, like, I have Richard. Hello. I got too excited. I'm like, boing.
Spring went off.
Richard Pryor, George Carlin. I mean, all the way going back. I have like Johnny Carson on vinyl. Nice. I have Abbott and Costello. Some Lucille Ball skits. I have, it just.
Because I was back then. That's the
a lot of Bill Cosby. I'm
as a comedian. This is pudding pop.
Hey, pudding pop. Yeah. Red Fox.
But back then, that's how you did it. Like in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s. They put an album out and it was on vinyl, and that's the way you can listen to specials.
Right, and that's the thing is that especially when I talk about Red Fox, he had the whole thing. He did a lot of one-liners. Like, yeah, my wife, you take her. You know what I mean? Like kind of like
Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah, I love Rodney.
I mean, like it was a lot of that, and it was just filthy, dirty jokes, and they called them stag records because you would bring them over. You would play them when your boys would come over and drink your whatever the hell they were drinking and smoke cigars and it's all dirty jokes. So the Red Fox. Yeah, so I mean, like, I absolutely love that. Speaking of comedy.
I saw your post.
Speaking of comedy, ladies and gentlemen, we want y'all to come out and see some comedy with us. We are sponsoring on June 24th, comedy event at Joe's on Weed Street with Mikey O. Pat Tomasulo from Channel 9 doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be our first actual big event that we're sponsoring by the company.
Right.
And guess what? We get to spend it with some funny people.
Absolutely.
And our boy Mikey O, who's always been good to us. He is a mentor, a friend, and family at this point. And then you're going to be at Joe's on Wheat Street. I mean, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I can't wait for the event. This is actually on my pop's birthday, which is also Gigantor's birthday. So we're gonna go out there. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come out and join us. Joe's on Wheat Street. I think the tickets are $15.
Yeah.
I think there's like Pat Tomasulo is the headliner. There's about 4 or 5 other comedians there.
Yeah, and if you mention the podcast, If you're at the door, if you're getting tickets at the door, and you mention the podcast, you'll get $5 off your ticket.
Look at that.
There you go.
So basically, we're giving you guys money.
Yeah.
So come out and check it out. Like I said, this is going to be on June 24th. Pat Tomasillo is the headliner. They're also going to have Alex a guy named Alex. Kendall,
Not so easy, is it?
No. I want to make sure I keep it PG, and I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Okay.
Kendall Reef and Chris Bader, and it's going to be hosted by Susana Rodriguez, 940 West Weed Street in Chicago. Doors open at 6:30. They got a full menu, no late seating, so get there. This is a 21 and over event. Mikey O Comedy Show. It's going to be a fun time. Chicago is back open. Come out, get your drink on, laugh.
Everybody
enjoy
needs to laugh after the year we've had.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait. Like I said, I'm a big comedy guy, so I can't wait to get up there and go see it. And
You get on stage and do some comedy?
We might go on stage a little bit and say what's up to y'all.
Oh, I thought you were going to do some comedy.
Hey, me doing the show every week is comedy, so I mean, I can't waste it here and then try to get material up there.
No free stuff.
No, but hey, $5 at the door. Mention the podcast, get your $5 discount. $15, June 24th. Come on out, see the comedy show, enjoy summer.
That's right. All right, E, it is time to get out of here.
All right, y'all. Thank you again so much for listening. Thank you to our great sponsors that helped us this weekend with our event. We could not appreciate it anymore. I mean, we love you so much. Our friends, our family, my brother and sister, your family come out. I mean, high school friends, our creative friends, our family from Grit Clothing Company. I mean, it was
Enrique came out. Enrique Calderon, the singer.
Enrique Calderon, Mikey O came through.
Yes.
Our great DJs, DJ Flymax, who came out and did a set for us. My boy DJ J Funk from the Bulls. Every team that you can think of in Chicago,
he DJs.
He DJs. My personal homie DJ Technique, who I've known forever.
Yeah.
He used to be a DJ at the Captain Morgan Club. He was the resident DJ at Soundbar for like 10 years. So I mean, like these were not like some Joe Schmo we found in the back of the van and says, hey, you got a CD player? Like, these were legit guys to come out and just party with us and have fun. So we thank you. Our sponsors, our friends, our family coming out to support us. Our show sponsors, of course, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at the checkout for 15% off of your entire order. That's TrueFan15. Go and get those shirts right now and wear them to the comedy show. Let us know that you're out there. And don't forget to check out our friends at acsi.tech and check out their career section to start an exciting new career in the communications industry. Shout out to Mike Logic and Ideal. The all-new episode of the AllNet podcast is available every other Monday. Check them out right now for the best analysis of the NBA playoffs. And don't forget to check out the Shy Native Radio podcast, now available on all major platforms. Mike Logic Ideal throw MC and words, talk about sports, movies, and all types of eel spit. Go check them out right now. Do not forget, coming up, Mike Logic and E-Roc 606 podcast. It's going to be great. We can't wait to present some fresh new content for you guys. Shout out to Ronesh and shout out to Panic for the beats we played on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for all your Moment merch and gear. And don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Chi Fans on Twitter. That's at True CHI Fans on Twitter. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and reach out to us on our email, our private message account. Hit us up, True Chicago Sports Fans at gmail.com. All right, y'all. For Big Z, this is E-Roc. We will see you next week for episode
50.
That's a big 50.
Big 50.
Yeah, I can't wait.
In the club.
Until then, be good to each other.
For the love of sports.
Yeah.
Hey. So
I love Wicker Park, bro.
You're gonna put a broad in your mouth now?
No. Hey, look. Hey, you not bringing me down. I'm still high. I'm still high. I'm still. Look, hey, look. Honestly, I'm still high off of the events that we had last night. And again, I know I said it before, and I'll say it again. Thank you, Z, for being part of the show, for helping me, build this up and doing what we do. And thank you.
Look where we're at in 1 year, man.
I know.
That's insane.
All of our great listeners, our friends, our family, everyone that supported us for the past year.
Thank you to the people who bought T-shirts.
Yeah. Raffle winners.
Vanessa just bought a T-shirt. We had Tommy buy a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Who else bought a T-shirt? A couple of people have been buying T-shirts and send me photos. Again, buy a T-shirt, send me the photo. We will post you on all of our social media and give you that shout out. So thank you.
And that's it.
That's all, folks.
That's it. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos. That's all. I shouldn't have had those artichoke poppers.